Hey gang, I'm Cole Cheney and this is episode 38 of the CBD Source podcast. Happy Hemp Day. You're listening to the CBD Source podcast, your source for all things CBD. What's up, gang? Happy New Year. It's 2020. I hope you guys and gals enjoyed your break. We took a couple weeks off there for the holidays, which is good because we have a ton of audio to sort through from our trip to MJ BizCon 2019 in Vegas, baby. This week we're going to do a full episode of CBD with Dani. It's our fitness segment, but we're doing a full episode because we've got not one, not two, but three athletes, professional athletes that we met at MJ BizCon. Coming up on the show, we got a former NFL player, a race car driver, and a former NBA superstar. This is going to be a jam-packed episode, gang, so even if you're not that into sports, it's fascinating to see how sports are changing because of the way the country is now changing. How old laws about CBD and THC are starting to evolve even in sports. And now some of these sports, they have not evolved at all. They are exactly the same. So we'll get into all of that. Let's dive right into it. This is the CBD Source podcast.
Gang, you're listening to the CBD Source podcast.
All right, gang, we've got Dani from CBD in the studio, which means it's time for CBD with Dani.
Let CBD help you achieve the body you deserve. This is CBD with Dani.
What's up, gang? Long time no talk.
Well, this is a huge episode because we've got three athletes in this episode, three former professional athletes from three major sports that you see on TV all the time. You probably know these guys.
You guys got to live vicariously for me. You guys look like you had a blast, a whole bunch of stories. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
More fun than CBDIO.
Well, at least you got CBD there to sample.
Yeah, but you guys got to have more fun than me. I would take the experience over food or edibles any day.
So we're in the studio with Dani and Cannabinoid Chef Ryan.
What is up?
So, yeah, we just got back from MJ BizCon and had our little holiday break here, and now we're back to talk sports and CBD.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, gang. Yeah, so we're in the studio with CBD with Dani and Chef Ryan Weber, and we're going to talk about some of the athletes we met at MJ BizCon. We met some amazing athletes that are transitioned from professional sports into the cannabis and CBD space.
Yeah.
Before we get into these interviews, we got to talk about Major League and Minor League Baseball.
Da, 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 dun, da, da.
It happened just like while we were in Vegas, I think. Major League and Minor League Baseball have just announced. Let me read their tweet just so we can
crack this one out of the park.
This is pretty insane. This is from MLB Communications, MLB_PR on Twitter. It says, today, MLB and the MLB players jointly announced sufficient changes to the drug abuse provisions of the Joint Drug Prevention and Treatment Program. And then they posted a screen grab of the changes. So these... Let's see what we got going here. The key changes to the program's treatment of drugs and abuse, which will be effective beginning in 2020, spring training, are as follows. I'm going to skip past there's this huge part about opioids and fentanyl and cocaine and synthetic THC. They're called drugs of abuse, and those are not cool with the league. Marijuana up until now was one of these drugs of abuse. Like, it was one of the things that would get you in deep trouble with the Major League Baseball Commission. But now, new rule, natural cannabinoids, e.g. THC, CBD, and marijuana, will be removed from the program's list of drug abuse going forward.
Hell yeah.
Boom. How about that?
I call that a home run.
Definitely. Basically, unless they're doing something that's insane with the weed, they're cool with you smoking it. They're not going to test for CBD. They're not going to test for THC. I would imagine it says like voluntary treatment and the same as alcohol. It's being treated like alcohol. Voluntary treatment and possibility of discipline by a players club or the commission's office in response to certain conduct involving natural cannabinoids. So basically, the only time that you'd really get in trouble for a weed because they're not testing is if you probably walked on the field with a bong and started to try to pitch. Like, they're really not, they're going to just let it go. Like, it's not a thing. It's dope, man, because, like, this is something that's, it's still federally illegal. THC is, but the league is like, this is not harmful to our players. It's not going to cause them to, it's not affecting their game. It's helping them recover. They're using it as medicine. This should be something that the rest of the world, the rest of the country at least, takes note of, because, if the major leagues are like, it's cool for our players to get high, at night when they're trying to relax after a stressful game, then why shouldn't the rest of us be allowed to, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just the major leagues, it's the minor league baseball too. That's changing. So the minor league was even more strict before this.
Get out.
Yeah. So
Rumble ponies.
Basically, I've been researching this. If you were caught with THC or CBD in your system as a minor league baseball player, you would get suspended for 25 games.
Oh my God.
Oh, it gets incrementally worse. If you get caught a second time, 50 games.
No.
The whole season.
Yeah. If you get caught a third time, 100 games. Which, like, how long are you even in the minor leagues for? I don't know.
Depends on if you suck.
Until you get, like, picked up. Right. Oh.
And that fourth joint, completely banned from the league. Lifetime ban. So that's going away, guys. It's no longer considered a drugs of abuse, which, like THC, hashish, and marijuana, before they used to be lumped in with cocaine, LSD, MDMA, bath salts, opiates, like heroin and morphine. Now they're off the list. So,
wow.
Yeah. Additionally, all players and club personnel will have to go through classes on the dangers of opioid pain medications and practical approaches to marijuana during the next 2 seasons. Even though marijuana is still a Schedule I drug, it is recreational adult legal in 11 states. It's 33 states have medicinal marijuana. So it is kind of crazy that these leagues are still sticking with this. I read a statistic. I wanted to read this. So this is from ESPN. ESPN reports that of the 123 teams across Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, National Hockey League, and the National Football League, 45 teams play in states or provinces where recreational marijuana is legal. Like, imagine living in a state and you're an adult and you're playing a sport and you're not allowed to do this thing that everyone else in that state is now legally allowed to do. Like, does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't.
Until this just changed, according to Hypebeast, the NHL is the only professional sports league that does not punish players who test positive for marijuana consumption.
NHL knows where it's at.
Both the NFL and NBA issue multiple random drug tests per season. After a 6th positive test for marijuana, an NFL player will be banned for 1 year. Following a 3rd positive test, NBA players are subject to a 5-game ban, with 5 more games added each time they test positive thereafter. Before this happened, if you were in baseball's major leagues and you got caught with weed or tested positive for weed, $35,000. $35,000 fine right off the bat.
But what about the ones that were banned already, and now that it's lifted, can they rejoin the league?
You'd think. I don't know.
Or is it more like, no, you didn't listen to the law at the time, so they're not going to let them back in?
Well, I don't know.
That's petty if they do that.
That's something that they're going to have to figure out.
Yeah, they better get to it.
I mean, there's a lot of people still in jail right now for drug crimes over pot, dealing pot and things like that in states where it's now legal. But I think they're trying to change the laws to try to get these people out of jail for crimes that are now legal in your state. It doesn't make sense. So congratulations to the Major League Baseball and all of you Major League and minor league baseball players who partake or use CBD and now you don't have to worry about, just rubbing some CBD on your muscles after a game, or like you just did a double header and you're beat and you just want to relax and get out of the mindset of playing all that baseball. Now you can enjoy, you can partake. This is amazing for them. And, man, what a score for not only the Major League, but this should open some eyes in this country. Like, if the Major Leagues are cool with this, then,
I know.
What the heck? And the minor leagues.
What a great way to start 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
The gang's all here. The CBD gang. New year, new podcast episodes. Same Cole Chaney, the CBD Source podcast. We're back with the CBD Source podcast.
Rye, you and I were walking down the second lane of the place. I mean, it was kind of the first day or the second day. It might have been the second day. So the second day, we're walking down like the third aisle maybe, and we saw a guy who was probably like 6'7", 6'8".
See, this is how we found half of them. It was okay. This guy's tall. He's built. Athlete.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious who works solely in the cannabis industry and who is an athlete standing in a booth that has gotten into it after sports, because it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely an athlete. What are you doing here? Obviously, you've got something going on in this world, so that's great. So we went up to him and we saw like some posters and stuff in the booth of him wearing like a jersey. It was one of those things where like now that he's not in the NFL, he can't use his pictures of him in his jersey and stuff, so it was like a generic jersey in the posters. So we realized it is definitely a NFL player, and then we realized who it was. It was David Irving from the Cowboys.
I love the Cowboys.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
How about Jason Garrett?
Yeehaw.
We just talked to Stephanie Lynch in episode 35, just a couple episodes back, who lives in Dallas, and she does that CBD spray tanning. And we joked she does work with some of the Cowboys, like does skin work on them, but she doesn't do any CBD work on them. And there's a reason, because the NFL is hard asses about THC and CBD. They don't want their players even touching cannabinoids, so she can't even put it on their skin.
Wild.
Hey, anyone who's on the Texas Rangers and you want a CBD spray tan, now that CBD can be in your system, Stephanie Lynch is in Dallas and she'll come right to your house. She already works on some of these Cowboys, but now she can put CBD all over you. No big deal. You get a nice CBD tan. We went up to David Irving and just started asking him about his product and not only his product, but did he smoke weed while he was in the league? Like, have you always smoked weed? What, like, do other players smoke weed? We're going to learn in this interview what the league prefers people take to THC and CBD after a game. So let's listen to that interview. This is one of the more funny interviews I think we've ever done, because he does not hold back as far as like when we ask really personal questions. Here is David Irving on CBody. All right, I'm here with David Irving. What position did you used to play? You were on the Cowboys, right?
I was. This is my first year not playing for the past 4 years. I started off at nose guard my first game. I wound up playing all across the line, defensive tackle, defensive end, both sides. Wherever they needed me, I filled in.
So now you're getting into the CBD game now that you're out of the NFL?
I am. Cannabis in general, CBD, marijuana, everything.
It's awesome. What do you think about that the NFL doesn't allow CBD, like players to use CBD for recovery and things like that?
I really don't understand it. I feel like on a larger scale, maybe they're in bed with the pharmaceutical companies, because they sure do force pills down our throats. The NFL prescribed me Oxys, Hydros, Xanax, Ambient, Seroquel, and gabapentin.
You could be on all that while you're playing, but no CBD.
Exactly, and it's all natural. It's never harmed anyone. It's actually a neuroprotectant. So my company, Cannabis Passport, it's the world's first rolling paper magazine, and we're actually donating proceeds to a Harvard study on CTE, and we're going to show how CBD and THC help. THC too helps with your brain. It's a neuroprotectant. We have receptors for this stuff.
Yeah, the endocannabinoid system and everything.
Yeah, so you know your stuff, and everyone needs to know a little bit more, and maybe they'll be a little more accepting. I think it's just an old way of thinking.
How tall are you? I'm not used to looking up to people like this.
I am 6'8" and 300 pounds.
Holy shit. Are a lot of NFL players like wanting to take CBD and just can't, or what?
Well, see, the hard part is, you're an NFL player, you live a certain lifestyle, you grew up a certain way, you smoke weed. CBD and THC is in the weed I smoke. So my thing is, if I've been for me for example, I've been smoking since I was 13, 12 really. Always had a 3.5 or higher, never been in trouble with the law. Every game the NFL seen me play while they were scouting me, I was highly medicated. Every game you guys seen me play in the NFL, I was highly medicated.
Wow.
The problem is I can't go to a dispensary and say, hey, let me get your CBD flower, you know? It's like you take what you could get. They don't even have dispensaries in Texas for you to get that shit. So you go to a party, you in the club, badass female come over with her friends, you're all probably gonna be smoking and drinking and doing other stuff. So it just happens. It's a part of our life. It's a part of our culture. Weed is here now. Cannabis is here. It's not the 80s anymore. It's not like, it is what it is. And I feel like times have changed and people need to catch up with it.
Hell yeah, wake up NFL. You heard it here.
It was a time when everyone was hitting lines in the locker rooms or hitting cigs at practice. Like now we smoke weed on our downtime. It's not a big deal.
Wow, who knew that most of the NFL smoking weed? That's cool. They don't test for THC or anything? They don't run it?
That's the problem. They do test for THC, and they shouldn't.
So everyone's got like the covert way to go clean on those tests.
It's hard to go clean, man. They test you worse than they test felons on probation. Like, we have to take our shirt off. We have to take our pants and underwear to our knees, and they have to watch it exit your dick.
Wow. So how the hell do
you don't take a cup and leave. You don't turn your back. No, they watch it come out.
You put a prosthetic dick with the piss bag?
I tried. I ordered one, but it was like a white dick. So it didn't look right.
That is hilarious. Well, listen, on our show, we have a sports section called C-Body with Dani. Dani's our CBD fitness guru. Normally, I would be doing an interview with an athlete with her, but she's not here. But we definitely want to have you on, maybe over Skype or something like that. And,
I'd love to, definitely. Just let me know when. We'll connect here after this.
Awesome. Dani, we will be doing this together. Thanks so much, man.
Hey, of course.
And you're here representing Wild Hemp today, or you're a rolling paper company?
So this is my cannabis passport. I founded this with the guy behind you, John, when I left the NFL this March. So what it is 100 rolling papers, which is more than anyone's given you, 100 filter tips, which is more than anyone's given you, and we write on ours with soy ink, making it the world's first rolling paper magazine. So each new round, we could print new things on them. If we have companies or people we're working with, we could put ads in there. We could feature people. We could feature movements. We could put whatever we want in here. And it's high quality paper too.
Smart innovation. Very cool.
And yeah, we partnered up with Wild Hemp and figured we'd come out and spread the love, the cannabis passport love, the Wild Hemp love. So here we are.
Awesome, man. It was great talking to you. And we'll definitely reach out and we'll talk to you soon, on our actual show where we'll have good volume and whatever. It won't be all this ambience and stuff. Cool, man. Great. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
God bless.
Cool. Let me give you ours.
He was born in California. He was a defensive lineman when he played for the Cowboys. He played for the Cowboys 2015 to 2018. In 2017, he was suspended for the first 4 games of the season because of violating NFL's drug enhancement policy. And then in 2018, he was also banned again, but for a different reason. It was for violating the drug policy, what he was kind of mentioning in the interview. And then when 2019 came around, he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm retiring because I don't believe in NFL's drug policy. And he is a huge cannabis advocate.
Yeah, the amount of opioids and all that other stuff they were trying to make him take, which he said himself, THC cured. THC and CBD were helping it. Didn't need all these prescription things that they were trying to zombify him with.
That stuff is so bad for you. Ugh. Oh.
Yeah, and I watched an interview with him. You can check it out online and just Google him. And there's interviews with him, I think on 2020 or one of those shows. And he was saying that he didn't even make $1 million. He wasn't in the league long enough. They said that he was a $100 million candidate. If he would have stayed in the league, he was potentially able to make $100 million in his career. And all he had to do was not smoke weed. But he was like, this is ridiculous. You're going to have me on opioids, all this stuff. And he's fighting for us, gang. He's fighting for people who are cannabis fans and understand the medicinal qualities of it. And he's on the front lines. So he talked about it. He's got a product now. And we've got it right. We've got one right here that he personally gave to us. Here, I'll pass it over to you. Can you explain what this is? I'm going to throw it to you. All right.
Okay, touchdown. Ooh, Cannabis Passport Magazine, world's first rolling paper magazine, 100 hemp papers and 100 soy printed filters. Made for liberty. Oh, this is cool. It's like all gold and green.
So this goes above and beyond what you normally see for rolling
Ooh.
papers. It is a little, looks like a passport, but it's got, she's playing with the rolling paper. You can hear
That
it.
is so cool.
There's 2 little sections for rolling paper on the left, and then there are, I think, 21-page magazine or something.
Show your cannabis citizenship by tagging at Cannabis Passport and photos on Instagram. Oh my god, and now there's like a little fake passport of David. Al Capone, like a quote from him, "Prohibition has made nothing but trouble."
Yeah, every page is like a
Yeah.
little, they're like little magazines.
Oh,
and you-
Rockefeller.
Filter.
Yeah. So the pages are perforated, and you can break them off and make your own little joint filters. If you're rolling hemp joints or you're rolling cannabis joints, they're perfect for both. Once you run out of everything in there because you're using them as filters and rolling papers, you just get another one or a new one.
How cool is that?
Just like other magazines, it would have a new magazine with new content, I'm imagining.
Wow, and
Be a
it's
subscription service.
Yeah, exactly. I was pissed that he was there and I didn't get to interview him with you, Dani, because it was like, man, this would be a great long form interview. Although, I mean, he was on a trade show floor. It's packed with people. It's not a great time to get a full interview. So, David, we're definitely going to get in touch with you and do like a long form interview on C-Body here.
yeah, I'm excited.
So, gang, we're going to give away this Cannabis Passport magazine. It's the one that was handed to us by the man himself, David Irving. Didn't get it autographed because we weren't thinking about it at the time, but we do have the one and only Cannabis Passport, unused, completely has all of its rolling papers and the full magazine intact. Thank you, David Irving, for that. We're going to get him back on the show and do a full episode with him soon, and we'll have more cool stuff to give you, I'm sure. But right now we've got this one Cannabis Passport magazine that we will be giving out.
The one and only.
How should we give it out? Here it is. We're going to throw this on our main Instagram page, which is CBD Source Podcast, and we're going to cross-post it over onto our C-Body Instagram page. Do you know the exact address for that? C-Body.
Let me pull it up.
We'll link to it right in the description underneath the picture. So follow C-Body Fitness with Dani, I think it is.
It's C_body fitness _Dani.
So you follow C_body fitness _Dani. Follow those 2 accounts, and in the comments on either account, we'll give you 2 entries if you follow both and comment on both. Let us know what your fitness goal is for the new year, and maybe how we can possibly incorporate that into our lives. Help us help you by winning a prize,
And you'll be featured on the show.
and we'll feature you on the show. Yes, and you'll be puffing away on your hemp joints with Cannabis Passport magazine. So there's that awesome prize.
Gang, here at the CBD Source podcast, not only do we talk CBD, but we're also one of the East Coast's largest brick-and-mortar retailers of some of the best third-party lab-tested CBD brands in the industry. Visit CBDSourceCenter.com to find one of our 55 CBD Source retail locations nearest you. We have locations all throughout New York and Pennsylvania. Hop in the car, throw on the old Bluetooth, and listen to the podcast on the way to the store. And we'll CBD you there.
You guys met Aaron Brown, right?
Aaron Brown, he's a world record holder for speed as far
Yeah,
as
13-time record holder and 20-year NASCAR veteran.
this guy. We ran into him. We were turning the corner, and we saw that stock car, right, Rye?
That's right.
And it was like, oh, stopped us in our tracks.
You guys didn't show me this picture.
We've got video.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there was a stock car sitting there. I mean, it's covered with logos like every other like NASCAR type stock car. And the biggest logo right on the front hood was
DB Labs.
DB Labs, which they are a third-party lab that tests for, the efficacy of CBD and THC, and they test to see if there's pollutants in it, and they test to see that it's legally going to meet the standard. You know, your CBD is going to be testing under 0.3% THC. So there's an actual lab that tests marijuana that is representing a stock car, and this guy.
That is so cool.
So we got to talk to him, and he was telling us a little bit about his fastest time ever. Well, for anyone who follows NASCAR, which I don't, but I have been to a NASCAR event in my life. Ryan, have you ever been to NASCAR? I know you like those motorcycle races and stuff, right?
Yeah, I've been to NASCAR a couple times.
Oh, yeah?
When I was younger, I remember a lot of my physics teacher was like, yeah, I only watch NASCAR because I really like to watch them crash.
Right?
So I'm like, wow, that's a little morbid. Then I watched it crash and I was like, wow, look at that car spin. Such momentum.
Right.
Well, that just got dark pretty quick.
It's all fun until they die. I mean, there's a human in that car.
That's why they have roll cages.
The fastest NASCAR ever tracked on a course was 212.809 miles per hour. You want to let's just listen to this audio of us on the floor talking to him. Cool wheels. Notice the printed on lights. They don't have real lights or anything. Hey, come on over. You mind talking on the CBD Source podcast?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, I'm Cole Cheney. You're Aaron
Hey,
Brown. Can you hold this?
Yeah.
Just hold it that close to you.
Like this close.
Yeah. It'll cancel out all the rest of this sound. So this is your car?
Yeah, this is our team car. Sure is.
Awesome. So we're standing here with Aaron Brown, NASCAR racer, or what?
Well, what we decided with all the rules that NASCAR has and things like that, we wanted to see how fast a legitimate NASCAR stock car could go. Mm-hmm. So we took this car. It's a 2018 Ford Fusion with Roush Yates engines. It's a Roush Fenway car. And there were some of our partners, and we all kind of worked together and with DB Labs and Labware.
Cool.
Get everything going, and so far we've been about 240 miles an hour with it.
Nice. Wow. I see this kick-ass roll cage in there. There's no second passenger seat. You're the driver?
Yep.
Awesome. So have you taken this out and raced with it?
Yeah, we raced last year. We went to the Arkansas Mile. We ran a mile and a half there at Arkansas, ran 2:30 couple there. Bumpy. It's a real bumpy track, so we got to raise the car up a little bit so we don't drag stuff. But then we went to Bonneville. Ran at Bonneville. Track really wasn't in that good a shape, and we just got this past Monday, we got to test at Spaceport America down in New Mexico.
Nice.
It's a super smooth runway, and we were just screwing.
That's where you could really see how fast this thing can go.
We were just screwing around down there and went about 240 miles an hour.
Wow, that is awesome. What's it like to go 240 miles an hour?
It's just relative.
Can you even see anything? Is it just all blind?
You're looking for the end of the runway. That's what you're looking for.
I'll bet. Awesome. So how long have you been in the racing scene?
I worked in a NASCAR at the Cup level. I worked for Dale Earnhardt for quite a few years, and
cool.
Ray Evernham. Did a lot of work on the RAD program, which was the Speedway specific program for Daytona and Talladega. Dale Earnhardt hired me specifically for that to run that program. And
very cool.
Yeah, so NASCAR is not new to us, but it sure is fun to see what we can do with it without those watchful eyes.
Right. How is this tied into the cannabis world, the cannabis community?
Well, we work with Curtis and Vance from Labware, and their technologies and the technology is kind of technology driven.
Mm-hmm. So is there a big sticker on the car somewhere? Oh, right on the
hood.
Front hood.
Yeah, right there.
Nice. I love it. I love it when the cannabis world is getting into these other industries, especially stock car racing.
It's been really
NASCAR
good
racing.
Relationship for us because we get to see the technologies that go into this industry, and some of them even crossed over to help us with a little bit of speed.
Cool. Do you get to partake after the race?
Yeah, if you want to, I imagine that'd be okay.
Very cool. Thanks. Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, sir.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show. Very cool. Awesome bringing a car in here and everything.
Yeah.
You can't not look at it. It's too cool.
I know. It's right here.
Very cool. Oh, there's it's just plaster. This is what they say about those NASCARs. It's plastered with everyone's logo, but you got the big pole position logo.
We've got the biggest one right on the hood.
So what do you guys do?
So DB Labs, analytical testing. We do testing for cannabis, hemp, cannabis, CBD products as well. We also do environmental testing, so we can test for soil and water.
We always talk about lab results and stuff. I'd love to be able to connect with you outside of this and talk more in depth about reading lab results, trying to figure out what exactly it means, that sort of thing.
Yes.
It would be cool to have a connection with an actual lab, so that's
Right.
great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me give you our card and stuff so we can definitely get in touch.
The previous record that was held by the 2007 Dodge Charger in 2007 was 244.9 miles per hour. So it seems that he didn't beat the record.
But it said that he holds like 13 records or something.
He holds 13 records, but he didn't beat the record in 2007 for the Dodge Charger.
I guess he didn't get the speed record. I guess the record was 244.9, but not held by him. And that was in 2007.
That's a speed record, not in a like competition, but just a trying to make a speed record. Yeah, I think the speed record for on the track is 212 miles an hour. So if you're watching NASCAR casually and you're seeing them go at their top speeds on the track, you're looking at 212 and change. This guy did 240 just a couple weeks before we met him. That is insanely fast to see a NASCAR shoot around that quickly, man. Like, what would you see if you're driving 240 miles an hour?
A blur.
You really would. Your eyes can't track that fast.
I would be so scared if I was driving. You know, I drive fast in general, but if I was driving that fast, I probably would be screaming my head off.
Like if a Major League Baseball player threw a baseball while you were driving that fast,
Oof.
it would look like it wasn't moving. It would look like it was going backwards at 140 miles an hour. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Oh my goodness. But the cool thing about Aaron, he grew up as like a close family friend of the late NASCAR legend Bobby Isaac, and his land record in 1971 was 216.94 miles per hour, and he did that in the 1969 Dodge Charger.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically what he wanted to do when he was racing the 2018 Ford Fusion, he wanted to try and beat the record in honor of Bobby.
And the record was 216, you said?
That was Bobby Isaac's record, but the record that he was trying to beat was 244.9 miles per hour, which was done in 2007 with a 2007 Dodge Charger.
And he got
Moral of the story, get a Dodge.
Hell yeah, my favorite car.
Well, he was only 4 miles slower than the world record.
I know. And he was blaming it on the track. I mean, it is a Ford, so.
But he's right up there, 240, man. Imagine going that fast. And it's funny, the NASCAR style car that he had, it is a NASCAR car. It's just not actually competing in NASCAR, right? It had, just like Lightning Steve McQueen in cars, it had the like fake lights on the front. Like, it didn't really have headlights. It had stickers of headlights.
Ka-chow.
Just like in the Pixar movie. I couldn't believe it in real life because I don't think I've ever been that close to a like NASCAR style car.
Is his name really Steve McQueen?
It's Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen.
I was like, Steve, I've been lied to my entire life.
I'm going back on my Pixar memories. So I was just reading a little bit about like NASCAR and IndyCar. Like apparently, according to IndyStar.com, NASCAR just lifted a 50-year plus ban on spirits sponsorship. So they can actually have like spirits advertising on their cars.
That's interesting.
And including CBD. So here's the rules, the guidelines for if you're a CBD company and you want to advertise on a IndyCar and I guess a NASCAR, because CBDMD has a NASCAR.
Yes, CBDMD does have a NASCAR.
Yeah, CBDMD has a NASCAR.
And Supercross.
Here's the
Chad Reed.
These are the rules, guys. The guidelines include they have to ensure the production, marketing, and advertising of the product meets federal, state, and local laws and regulations. Opinion of a reputable law firm to conform IndyCar's advertising of the product is legal. The brand must not produce, market, or advertise marijuana-based or cannabis products not derived from hemp. So they can't even have one product that's not CBD. Like if they also sell weed, they can't advertise. The product continues to meet NBC's policies because they air on NBC.
Yeah.
And ensuring that the team will indemnify, defend, and hold IndyCars harmless from any liability that IndyCar incurs as a result of the team's CBD sponsorship. So them's the rules. If you want to advertise in an IndyCar, it is now possible. You can do it. And this guy was an example. We met an actual guy who drives that speed in a cool ass car, which was endorsed by a CBD and marijuana testing lab. And we'll be talking with that lab because the people at DB Labs were really cool. And it's cool to have an actual lab we can talk to. And maybe in a future episode, we'll be contacting them and going over what the different parts of a lab test mean. Like what exactly, like how to read a lab report.
That would be awesome.
Also, with the rules for NASCAR, I was just checking this out. As far as actually smoking weed, because we did make a little joke about partaking after the race. There is no partaking after the race in NASCAR. It is very strict. There's an insane, like if you just Google like NASCAR's testing for drugs policy, like it's crazy. If they want to test you, you have to be like taking that test within an hour of when they say they want to test you, kind of thing. And they like collect specimens, and it's really intense. And according to NASCAR itself, marijuana is a narcotic analgesic, same as fentanyl, methadone, morphine, oxycodone, heroin,
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But it's okay for them to drink a lot at NASCAR.
You can see them. They celebrate like stone cold when they win. They pop beers and like are splashing all over
Champagne
themselves.
bottles.
It's the easiest
like
sport
Ricky
to-
Bobby.
It's the easiest sport to follow when you're hammered.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Like the infield parties that you have when you're at a NASCAR event. It's crazy.
Yeah, tailgate parties are interesting.
Have you been to one?
I've been to some for like Supercross events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they really haven't figured it out yet that marijuana is not like these other drugs. It's not going to do that to you. It's not going to kill you. Like it's kind of crazy that's still on that list.
TheCBDGang.com, the official subreddit for fans of the CBD Source podcast. Questions, answers, CBD gangsters, at Karma, at sweet Karma.
Now let's get to our final guest for this episode. Yeah, this guy, I read about this guy way before we met him. He's actually from New Jersey. Like he probably was born, 10 minutes from where I was born. We're talking about NBA legend Al Harrington. He's played on like every team, right? He's played on so many teams.
Oh my gosh, he played on a lot of teams. His last U.S. team was the Washington Wizards, and that was from 2013 to 2014. Then he was playing for China for the Fujian Sturgeons, and that was in 2014.
Wow.
Then he went to Australia and played for the Sydney Kings in 2015. And then in 2017, he was playing for Ice Cube's basketball team called the Big Three.
Oh, the Big Three. Mm-hmm. Hey, Rye, what did we learn about the Big Three? Weren't they like the first league to let CBD sponsorship on their like jerseys and stuff?
Sponsored by CBDMD.
Yeah, CBDMD sponsors the Big Three.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. Good tie-in. Let's listen to some of me talking with Al Harrington, and also apologies to Dani for not being there because I did mention it to these guys.
It's okay, I know. I was there in spirit.
It felt weird doing sports interviews without you around. Al Harrington, nice to meet you, man. Very cool. Totally cool running into you here.
I know, man. What's going on, fellas? Y'all good?
Totally good. I wish we have a partner on our show. We have a section called C-Body with Dani, and she's like our CBD fitness expert. So we usually interview athletes together, but she didn't come from New York, so it's just me. Maybe we can do a Skype someday with her, me, and you. So tell me a little bit about, you were in the NBA, and now you got your own lines, THC, CBD. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I have Viola, which is my THC company. Started that in 2011 when I started my journey, but we made our launch in 2014 is when we named the company Viola, which is after my grandmother. I also have a CBD company called Harrington Wellness, and our first line of products is called Replay, which is topicals, tinctures, capsules. We have a wellness shot. We're working on some edibles as well. So yeah, it's exciting times, man, and I'm happy that I'm in this amazing industry.
Yeah, right.
Growing with it, pioneering the space has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad to see these it's always ex-athletes. It's not like current athletes getting into the space. But when you were playing in the NBA, was there a lot of like, did anyone know about CBD back like during that time or?
No, CBD was definitely not something that was popular. You know, I mean, we didn't know anything about CBD. It was just either you just smoke weed, period. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys smoked a lot of weed too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys you'd be surprised by, especially because of the success that they had over their careers. And then, you know, you think about, you know, you mentioned like a lot of the current players don't advocate is just because, you know, the teams won't allow them to do it. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely guys that are like chomping at the bit who can't wait for an opportunity to let the world know, you know, how they feel about cannabis and how cannabis, you know, makes them feel.
Like I used to do interviews with artists and I'd say like 3 out of 4 artists smoked weed. What percentage of NBA players would you say smoked weed?
I think on every roster right now, just say it's only a 10-man roster, I would say at least 8 out of the 10. They don't smoke, they use some type of cannabis product, right? Either edible, they may use CBD. You know what I'm saying? I think that is really relevant in definitely in the NBA and definitely NFL, NHL, all the contact sports. You know, I think guys have identified, you know, cannabis as being an alternative way to medicate themselves, one that's, you know, obviously natural, way safer than the alternatives that they give us, which are the opioids and all these prescription drugs and stuff like that. So it's cool.
Yeah, we talked with NFL athletes before, and they said that basically that the NFL will load them up with opiates and any like Oxycodone, that sort of stuff to try to get you back in the game real quick. When there's these natural alternatives, but they're not allowed to give you that. It's so mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. But I think that times are changing, brother. You know what I'm saying? I think you see MLB just decided, you know, they're not going to test their farm leagues anymore, and they never test the big boys anyway. And, you know, I think with the NFL coming up on collective bargaining, I think their guys are really going to take a hard stance on, you know, trying to figure out how they can include cannabis into their daily regimens because, you know, these guys obviously are always in pain management mode and they don't want to they're tired of taking the pills. You know what I'm saying? They want to choose a plant over pills. And I think it's time for them to really stand up and, you know, they might be pioneers. They might be the ones that, you know, can first get some semblance of a program that makes sense, you know, for the athletes.
Can you give us a little timeline of your career in the NBA, like what teams you played for and stuff like that? What position?
Yeah, well, I played, started off in Indiana, played in Atlanta, Golden State, New York, Denver, and then Washington Wizards where I finished up.
That's awesome. So you have a fucking shitload of jerseys just hanging in your crib somewhere.
I only hang my first one to Indiana and the last one. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that?
I don't know. I figured like it was too much in between. So I figured from the start to the finish is what I got up in the house now.
Nice. So when was your last year?
2014 is my last season.
And then you're like, all right, now let's switch over to the THC game. I played basketball long enough. Now it's time for THC. Let's get this moving.
Definitely, man. My body was speaking to me. It was saying, what's next? You know what I mean? And what's amazing about this is I think that, you know, if I accomplish a lot of the goals I have for my company and, you know, being able to, you know, empower and uplift, you know, the minority and black community through cannabis, you know, I think I'm going to leave a legacy where people are actually going to forget that I even played basketball. So I think that's really unique that I have that opportunity.
Wow, very cool. Thanks for talking to me, man. We got to definitely connect like on Skype and do like a full, 45-minute type of interview. Awesome.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Can you stand up and get a picture with me? I want to see how tall you really are. Oh, my God. I know. Yeah. I'm normally looking down, and now, like, every time I get an athlete around here, it's like, what the fuck? So funny when we met him. It was like, there's like this VIP press room, and there's like an upstairs for the press room, and that's where a lot of people do interviews because it's quieter up there. Okay. So we went up there and saw him sitting there, like total sweatsuit all the way, like, pimped out, shades, hat, and also looking like he's 6'9" or 7 feet tall
while sitting down.
While sitting down, I was like, oh, dude, another sports guy here.
Oh,
definitely an athlete. And then I realized who it was because I've done research on this for C-Body. Players that have now switched into the marijuana or CBD space after being in the leagues. And we talked to his manager and hooked it right up. So, yeah. We learned one thing in Vegas, that people know CBD Source podcast. We're like recognizable. we're making a name in this industry, so it's pretty sweet.
Hell yeah.
He talked a little bit about his brands. Can you give us a little more information on his brands? I want to get him on the show too. Like we should do a whole C-Body episode with Al Harrington, you and me, just talking to him, like, you know, a good chunk, like 45 minutes an hour or something.
That'd be cool.
He's got like a CBD and a THC brand.
The Harrington Group, which is like 3 cannabis companies combined. He's got the Viola Extracts, which is named after his grandma. Then you got the Harrington Wellness, which manufactures CBD products. And then he has Baby Butter, which makes cannabis edibles. So those 3 make the Harrington Group.
There's a story that I read in ESPN magazine that I don't want to read it out loud because it's him talking about why he got into the cannabis world, about his grandmother, that made me cry when I read it. It was so touching. And I want to get him on the show and be able to have him tell that story because it's so cool about him realizing how cannabis can help. I don't want to blow the story, but yeah,
we'll wait until he comes on.
It was a good story, so good.
And the cool thing, in 2017, Harrington interviewed former NBA Commissioner David Stern regarding cannabis, and Stern told Harrington, "I'm now at a point where personally I think cannabis should be removed from the banned list." And he was basically saying, like, Al, you persuaded me to think this way.
Wow. It takes guys like this to change things. These are like change makers in the world. You accomplish something in one field and then you realize there's a problem. You figure out a solution to that problem, and then other people start to realize, hey, you're right. You are right, and things should change. So it's exciting. This Major League Baseball making this move is just the beginning. Like, I think this is going to start a domino effect.
They're starting the wave.
Yeah.
First the Olympics, then the NHL, now
Major League Baseball and minor league baseball. So what's next? I love that everyone who was jumping on it on Twitter were saying, like, NBA, NFL, you listening? Like, those are the 2 that have to go next, you know?
Yeah.
Because these guys are beating the crap out of each other. You know, these guys die young. You know, like, after they're out of there, they've got major injuries that they're trying to recover from. CBD and THC can help them, you know, and they know it. It isn't until after they're out of the league that they start really advocating for it, but they should be able to do this while they're still in the league, you know?
It could help prevent so many problems because, you know, in the NFL, you're dealing with a lot of concussions and it can cause, like, brain disorders.
Oh, yeah.
Where it, like, changes your whole entire personality. They had, like, a whole movie on it where the doctor discovered that there's, like, a problem going on with the brain due to so many concussions happening.
Yeah, and they tried to, like, just brush it under the table for so many years.
Yeah, they're like, no, this isn't happening. They're just, like, going crazy because, you know, they're going crazy.
Right. I can't remember if I saw it on TV or, like, on the internet, that they could make helmets that would completely protect their heads.
Yes.
But they wouldn't make that cool sound when they hit each other. So, you know, you don't want foam, like, really soft helmets that would actually work. You want cracking sounds. So rather just give these guys, you know, brain damage.
It would have been funny if they put, like, horn sounds or something. Rather than crack, he's like, honk.
If the helmets made fart noises. Or like the sound that dog toys make, and then everyone's dogs at home would get excited every time they heard a football game. You know, it gives your dog something to do if you're watching the game by yourself with your dog. I think it'd be great. We're on to something. Patent. All right, Dani. So sorry about you not being there. Thanks for listening to these interviews with us, and we will be connecting with these guys and doing full interviews and, like, you know, hearing their whole stories, because these guys have, like, you know, insane lives, and now that they're out of the leagues, they're amazing advocates for CBD and THC. So I want to hear their whole backstory, what got them into it, why they're pushing so hard for it. I just saw, now I'm following David Irving's Instagram. Like, yeah, if you follow David Irving on Instagram, it's David_Irving95. It's the most recent post he has. It probably will be not the most recent post by the time you see this, but it says me and Koala Puffs behind the scenes at her 420 period movie on Instagram with a new Cannabis Passport t-shirts. We're a group of young activists about to change the world. I want to be in this movie too. It's a movie called like 420 the movie or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me see.
Gotta weasel your way into it.
So pretty cool. And I'm also following Koala Puffs. KOALA period PUFFSS Koala Puffs. So look forward to seeing that 420 movie.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a private screening
party.
of it. Yeah, that would be dope. Got to get in touch with Koala Puffs.
And David. Hook us up, David.
Dude, if we can get invited to that party, that would be great.
Yeah, just don't leave me like you did last time.
Did I leave you?
You left me when you went to Vegas. You and Ryan.
You left us.
You know, I didn't know I was going.
You went to CBDIO before we did.
I didn't know I was going, okay? Mm-hmm. I went to Vegas for the sole purpose of going for a birthday, and then it turns out I had to go and work. Okay?
Well, you did work at the Ignite booth, so you got pimp treatment.
Yeah, and I didn't get to meet
You didn't get
Dan.
to meet
I didn't get to see Dan.
For people who don't know, who are we talking about?
Dan Bilzerian.
The owner of Ignite, the poker player who turned like CBD and THC magnate. He's like the modern day Hugh Hefner.
Of CBD and THC?
Exactly. We'll meet him one day.
I met him once.
Did you?
Yeah, here. I ran into him going around the corner.
Yeah, he has been here a couple times.
Yeah.
I didn't get to meet him though.
I mean, I've seen him like a foot away from my face, but like I haven't said like, hi, my name is.
It wasn't like a meet and greet with me and him. It was more like, oh crap, you scared me going around the corner. Oh, that's cool. Have a good day, you too.
There is one more athlete that we didn't mention that we got 3 feet away from.
Oh, who? You didn't tell me.
Rye, you want to give it a proper intro?
Time now for the main event.
Iron Mike Tyson.
Iron Mike Tyson was there. Dude.
We got so close.
You got closer than I did.
Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight fighter. I'd say like him and Muhammad Ali, best heavyweight fighters in the world. Mike Tyson was, a knockout fighter. The best knockout fighter ever in boxing, professional boxing. And we got so close to meeting him. Like, do you want to explain the scene, Rye?
It was a madhouse.
Maybe we can like play some footage underneath us while we're talking about this.
Yeah, we can do that because it was crazy. There was only maybe about, I don't know, I want to say 300-400 people maybe.
There's so many people here that we don't realize who they are, or like they're probably legends that we just don't realize it. Oh shit, look, something's going on over here, dude. Camera out. It might be camera. Look, it's Iron Mike.
All gathered in one little section. They have in the background, you see
he's in there, man.
Mike Tyson's videos playing, him smoking weed and rolling joints.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. It's sort of like if you took a book and opened it in half, like the back side that's straight up is a wall of TV. The floor itself was of a wall of TV, and we're standing on the floor TV. Behind us is the massive wall of TV showing Mike Tyson smoking weed. And then in the middle of this floor of TV that everyone's now standing on, first it was like hardly anyone. Everyone crowded quickly onto that giant TV floor.
This is crazy. He's here. Can you see him?
We're talking about like, I don't know, 40 by 25 foot floor of just a TV that everyone's standing on. And behind us, same thing. And Mike Tyson comes out of nowhere. Like, how did we find out about it? We heard something, some rumor. Someone's like, hey, Mike Tyson's
just like we heard about Tommy Chong. We were just walking by, all of a sudden I was like, hold on. They said something about Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And there he was. And then there's tons of people there. His PR people were like, back up.
Yeah, he had a huge entourage.
Yeah, he should.
Back it up, please.
I mean, he looked tired. He looked really exhausted.
I don't know what that. Yeah, well,
I kept yelling because it was a Wednesday, so I was like, Mike. Guess what day it is? Hopefully he heard it.
We got so close.
Iron Mike in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen. Gang, we are meeting all of our legends in one day. This is crazy. Can we get to talk to him, though? This crowd is huge. Everyone is packed in on him. Slowly moving our way towards Iron Mike.
And then we were right about, like, it was sort of like becoming, it was this twisty mass of people. And
we were there.
It was sort of getting closer and closer. We're inching our ways in.
There's a velvet rope around him. Oh, the tension is building. We're getting closer and closer. Everyone's pushing and, like, jostling for position, trying to get a good shot of him, trying to be able to get close. All right, I'm coming up. I'm about, let's say, 8 feet away from Mike Tyson. 3 people ahead of me. 3 rows of people. Oh man, he's posing with everyone. He's really opening up to the crowd.
We're taking pictures. We're taking selfies and stuff, trying to get ourselves in the shots. You can see all these pictures on our Instagram or on the. If you go to CBD Source Podcast, go to the blog section, go to this episode, and the athlete episode, which is episode 38. You'll see all the pictures there of us with Mike Tyson a few feet away from us.
Just 3 people away from Mike Tyson. Yeah, we're gonna meet him. We're gonna at least say hi if we can. Oh no, it looks like they might be trying to usher him out.
I mean, we did not get to meet him.
We got a selfie, kind of.
We were so close.
It was more like a photo bomb.
It was a photo bomb. It was us standing with him in between us, or just in the background, like right behind us. Like, hey, there he is.
Well, I'm glad we came so close. It's like one of the guys that we really, really want to get. I mean, we talk about Mike Tyson more than anybody, probably. We came this close. And maybe he'll be at one of the other parties. It's day 1. But we got some shots with us in it and him in it, but didn't get to meet and talk to the man. So the hunt continues. Mike Tyson, man. That was so close. If we would have just fought a little harder, we could have done it.
You did better than I did.
Well, you tried to get you ran, but you didn't get there in time because he was already. Him and Rodman were doing their thing.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
We'll get it, man. We'll meet him.
Well,
I'm kind of glad that we didn't get to meet Mike Tyson today totally, because I want to definitely do a full episode with him. Tommy Chung's still over there.
Leave the 81-year-old man alone.
But it's almost like meeting all of your heroes in one day. You just can't appreciate it as much.
But this is day 1. What happens in day 2 and 3?
Yeah, that's true. Like, that's why I'm kind of glad, though, that we didn't, totally meet him. So we still have, I'm glad Wiz Khalifa wasn't there for a sort of, because we will eventually meet Wiz.
Don't you know Mike Tyson's cousin?
Who? Oh, yeah, I do. Jackie Rowe. I've got a lot of strange connections to Tyson, but never have actually met him. Like, if you watch his HBO special that he did with Spike Lee, which is an amazing special, by the way, it's on HBO On Demand. If you watch into the credits, you'll see me. I was in the audience for the taping.
We didn't know this because it was all set up after the fact that we bought the tickets to come home. We were invited to Mike Tyson's mansion for a dinner party, but we were going to be on our flight back home.
You're lying.
With a cannabis chef.
I would have canceled my flight and rescheduled it.
So that was a bummer.
Julie from our photo booth experiment actually messaged me, I think when we were on the plane, and said she went to that Tyson thing and he wasn't there. So didn't miss out on much.
Wow.
Still his mansion.
I wonder if the tiger was there.
I wonder if the tiger takes CBD.
Maybe.
I bet you anything. He blows weed in that tiger's face.
Probably does.
Rawr.
They just did that on a Rick and Morty episode. Did you see that?
No.
Rick and Morty episode where Morty wants a dragon. He keeps saying he wants a dragon, and Rick's like, "You don't want a dragon, trust me." and he really didn't because dragons are dicks. But once Rick soul bonds with the dragon and steals the friendship away from Morty, and then they go riding around and having crazy times and smoking a blunt the size of a tree. And then they go to a zoo, and the dragon picks a lion out of the cage and blows weed in the lion's face.
Oh my God. I love Rick and Morty. I haven't seen the new season.
Spoiler alert. But that's what happens, yeah. Pretty funny.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here for the CBD Source podcast. You've heard the rest, now listen to the best.
Gang's all here. The CBD Gang. Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
Well, gang, that was a fun episode. So many big name athletes we got to talk to today. Thank you to our CBD fitness expert, Dani, and our cannabidiet chef, Ryan, for sitting in through the whole episode. Also, big thanks to David Irving, Aaron Brown, Al Harrington, and Mike Tyson just for being there in spirit. Gang, we will have Mike Tyson on the show one day, I promise. We'll get there with your help. So make sure you spread the word about the podcast. Check out our Instagram and try to win prizes from this episode. We did meet Tommy Chong, which was awesome. I kept calling him Tommy Chung for some reason. I think I was high. I don't know. I was not high, but I just kept, I for some reason was stuck on Chung, like Connie Chung. I know it's Tommy Chong. What was I doing? But yeah, if you listen to that episode, it's pretty embarrassing that I kept saying that Tommy Chung. It's very weird.
Too funny.
But anyway, so glad we got to meet these athletes, and we definitely will get in touch with you guys and talk to you, a full-on episode each of you, because we definitely want to hear more. And you're the people who are changing this world. You're the people who are changing these sports. And the fact that they said that massive percentage of the players are already smoking weed, and they're just playing the game stoned or whatever, means that it's already happening. It just needs to be made public that it's,
it's still in the shadows.
Yeah, it's really nuts. Aren't we having the hardest time finding actual playing athletes? It just doesn't exist. You have to. The only people that are going to talk to us are people who are out of the leagues. Otherwise, $35,000 fine for a major league player.
We'll try to get an NHL guy.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
get beat in the face.
Here we go. Now we can do a call out directly to people who are in the NHL right now.
And the UFC.
Oh, UFC as well. Unless we read the rules wrong. You guys are legally allowed to do this stuff. Are you able to talk about it without hurting your endorsement deals or whatnot? And also, does this mean that Major League Baseball players can now get endorsement deals from CBD and THC companies? I wonder. Could be. You might be able to see some Major League heavy hitter talking about some CBD that they're taking. That would be pretty cool. So
yeah,
that could happen pretty soon. Anyway, gang, this has been a fun C-Body with Dani episode, and glad we got to meet all these athletes. You want to say some last stuff, Dani?
All I can say is peace out, gang.
All right. Till next time, we'll CBD you next Wednesday.
Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
The CBD Source podcast is written, produced, and hosted by Cole Chaney. Graphic design, photo, and artwork by Ryan Weber, Johnny D, Kevin Bierfelt, Steve, and Cole Chaney. Marketing by Penny Spinazzola. Special thanks to our resident CBD guru, Akash Patel, our CBD Source Vape Lounge expert, Anthony Maltese, our C-Body fitness instructor, Dani, our personal cannabidiet CBD chef, Ryan Weber, our CBD News co-host and vocal artist, Tasha Miller, and our CBD gang subreddit mod, social media maven, and wrap-up girl Cass. That's me. Additional thanks to Caitlin, Liz, Ryan, and Kevin for lending your vocal talents. Want to be a guest on the show? Or do you have a great Weed Man van story? Or a story about your craziest experience with the munchies? Call us at 1-833-CBD-GANG. Again, that's 1-833-223-4264. And leave a message. We like your story, we might play it on the show. Visit us on CBDSourcePodcast.com for all your links to social media, YouTube, and our message board, r/CBDGang on Reddit. Be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next week.
Podcast or its related social media pages and interactions are for informational purposes only. The CBD Source podcast does not offer medical advice. Its host, Cole Cheney, is not a medical professional. His experiences with cannabidiol and other cannabinoids are his own and may not affect you the same way. Everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. The statements made regarding CBD products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products and the testimonials made have not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All information presented here is not meant as a substitute for or alternative to information from healthcare practitioners. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires this notice.
Do you like or want to try quality, third-party tested CBD? Do you live in the New York, Pennsylvania area? We got you covered, gang. We're growing more each month, so check in with CBDSourceCenter.com to find our addresses and new store locations. While you're there, sign up for our mailing list. We're adding new stores across New York and Pennsylvania all the time. We may soon be expanding to a town near you.
Want to score free CBD? Sign up for Loyal and Save online or on your phone and use it whenever you shop at CBD Source locations. You'll earn points towards free products and other cool merch. Sign up for free at CBDSourcePodcast.com/loyal. You can download the Loyal and Save app on iTunes or Google Play. That's our loyalty app. Call Help designed it. CBD gang, we're looking for your Weed Man van stories. The typical Weed Man in van has many faces.
Space Cowboy.
Roach.
Filthy Frank.
Many names. Scary Van Dam.
Creepy Casper.
Tired Tanner.
And many different types of vans. But everybody has met him, and everybody has a story. What spliff lord turns you to the dank side? We want to hear about your first experience with the wacky weed, the ganja, Miss Mary Jane. You know, trees, trees, trees. Give the show a call at 1-833-CBD-GANG. Tell us your story in 3 minutes or less, and we might play it on the show. Hell, one day we might animate it for our YouTube page. Yowza, it's dank AF in here. Someone's smoking the good stuff in the studio. We'll spray some Ozium and be right back with more of the CBD Source podcast. The gang's all here. The CBD gang. Let's take a tink in honor of all the homies we lost last year. From your friends at the CBD Source podcast. Thank you for listening to the CBD Source podcast. This is how we CB do's it.